Hey everybody, this is Claire, and this is Small Joyful Things. As always, I go out to thrift stores or estate sales, or sometimes I buy things from Craigslist, and I try to find out as much as I can about them, and then I make videos to tell you guys about them. So here's what I've got today. If you forgive, this is a little bit bigger than what I normally do. I have a very interesting looking vase. This is a lettuce vase. A lettuce vase? I'm not talking right. You can see that it's got all of these wonderful swirls of splattered glass in it. It's actually grey, and you can see here that all of it has this lovely splatter going through it. And the nice thing about this vase, obviously, is that we have the original stickers and even the original hanging tag. So if I just put it down, let's measure it up. It's quite big. It's about 8 inches across. I put it down very gently, and about 8 inches high. So I bought this in a thrift store for $25. This is usually far more than I would normally pay for a vase. Now, the reason that I actually got this is because, well, first of all, it has its original sticker. It has its original tag telling you all about the artist, and it is also signed. If I turn over here quite carefully, yeah, there we go. Kind of hard to see it. Arte Vargas. So what exactly is this? This is a lettuce vase made by David Vargas, who is a local Vancouver artist. You can find basically all about him here. Maestro Daniel Vargas. Daniel Vargas has been blowing glass for over 4 decades. He learned this age-old art in Mexico and continues the tradition at his studio gallery in Maple Ridge, BC, Canada. Every piece is unique as it is handcrafted. The Arte Vargas signature ensures that our standards for quality be met, blah, blah, blah. Clean by washing with lukewarm soapy water. Enjoy the beauty. And there is Daniel Vargas himself. So I kind of got this because I know I'd heard of Arte Vargas before. I've seen some of his work, and I always thought it was quite interesting. He's done a lot of stuff that's a little bit similar to Robert Held. I just grab the old iPad. Here we go. So to give you some idea, he's done some work that's similar to Robert Held, which is another local artist, to the Vancouver area, which is things like this, these iridescent vases and this iridescent kind of like small vases kind of thing. And then Arte Vargas specifically does these bigger lettuce vases with these enormous swirls in the middle. He's far more known for doing this kind of splatter style than Robert Held would be. Robert Held, I've noticed, does a lot of these little perfume bottles. He does a lot of these very kind of elaborate iridescent forms. And Vargas kind of goes for more of the splatter stuff, of more of swirls, more of kind of organic stuff. So here's some of examples of, I'll give you some examples of his work. It's hard to tell on this, but there is actually some iridescence in this vase. It's just not in the main glass. It's always in the splatters. So here's some examples. This is, I would say, very typical of him. And you can see the details there. Arte Vargas, iridescent blown art glass vase, and signed, $145 Canadian. There's another one of the lettuce vases. And this one is a much stronger colour, and then in splattered glass, this one is a bit closer to the one that we have. The lettuce vases, I notice, don't go for the same kind of money. I don't believe they're as popular as the plain iridescent stuff. So if I hold this up, I'll see if I can get it to do its thing. It's not quite obvious, unfortunately, that there is a little bit of iridescence in the swirls. To be honest, in this particular vase, I don't think it was a good colour choice. Having looked at some of them, I think ones like this is far better than, like, a far better kind of style and production than this one. The iridescence and the combination of the blue with these light reflects just seems to work. This one is like fairly boring and dull in comparison. And it's kind of a shame because I've seen enough of of his work to know that he's a very good like glass artist. And again, this is obviously very well made. It's very well crafted. I'm not digging the colors, at least not the same way that I would this. So other question, what's going to happen to this little vase? Well, big vase, it's not quite little. I'm afraid that I thought this would be a kind of an interesting thing to show to you guys, but unfortunately I don't think it's worth probably any bit more than what I paid for it. I would say that I could probably sell it for maybe $30 US on eBay or something. And that's really solely because it has its original sticker, it has its original tag, it is signed by the artist. And if you actually wanted to buy a lettuce vase directly from Arte Vargas today, you spend about $168 Canadian. I think that's about 130 to 140 US. So, I mean, if you really like this style and you don't want to pay the money, as a nice bit of art glass, then, you know, something like $30 or $40 is going to be a bargain. But unfortunately, this one just does not spark joy for me. And I don't know. I hope someone will like it. I'm kind of glad that I found it, because it just means that I do actually get to go and obviously read up a bit about Daniel Vargas and find out a little bit more about him, even though I keep mixing up his name for reasons completely unknown to me. So I know this is kind of isn't, I don't think this is very small. It's actually enormous, and can you imagine it's going to be absolute hell to actually ship if you do ship it somewhere. But it's kind of cool, and I think it's kind of a nice example of, like, here you go, here's like the kind of art, you know, the kind of art glass that you can see around Vancouver if you ever, you know, feel the need to visit someday. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy this one. Bye bye.